For this video, I'd like to talk about the concept of dividing fractions. And the simple truth is that division is a much harder problem than multiplication. So if we can somehow change this to a multiplication problem rather than division, then that will be simpler for us. And basically what we have to recognize is that if we take a number, let's say like 10, and we divide it by 5, or I can write this as 5 over 1, but 10 divided by 5 would be 2. We can fit 5 into 10 twice. And what we know is that this is the same thing if we take 10 times 1/5. Since now we're multiplying fractions, we can put the 10 over 1 so that we can just multiply straight across. We get 10 divided by 5, or 10 over 5, which again is 2. So dividing by a number is the same as multiplying by that same number but flipped over. Or essentially, this fraction right here is the reciprocal of this fraction here. And remember, reciprocal, you just literally flip the fraction over. So if you looked at this in more general terms, like let's say a divided by b, that would just be a over b written as a fraction, or a times, let's say 1 over b, and you could have written this as b over 1 if you want. Then a times 1 over b, if we write that as a over 1 times 1 over b, you still get a over b. So in both cases, division by b over 1 or multiplication by 1 over b, they produce the exact same answer. So for our problem, we can rewrite this as 5/3 times the reciprocal of 1/6, which would be 6 over 1. And now we can just multiply straight across. 5 times 6 is 30. Divided by 3 times 1, which is 3, and 30 divided by 3 is 10. And this answer should make sense. I'm going to rewrite 5/3 as 10 over 6. I'm essentially just unsimplifying it. You can see these are true. If you evaluate them on the calculator, you'll get 1.6 repeating for both. And what division is asking is how many sixths can you fit in 10 sixths? And it should make sense that, well, there are 10 of these and 10 sixths. So our answer of 10 should make some sense. Now let's look at some different examples. So let's say we have 4 over 7 divided by 1/3. And for all of these, we're going to take the number we're dividing by and change it to a multiplication problem where we're multiplying by this number's reciprocal. So times 3 over 1. And remember, we're calling these things 1/3 and 3 over 1. These are just called reciprocals. And once we change it to multiplication, we just go straight across. 4 times 3 is 12, and 7 times 1 is 7. So 4/7 divided by 1/3 would be 12/7. Or essentially, you can ask how many thirds fit in 4/7. And there's about 1.5, a little bit more than 1.5 thirds and 4/7. So this answer does make some intuitive sense. Now you could have a problem where, let's say we have the whole number 5 divided by 7/9, and we will again change this to multiplication. And basically you can always take a whole number and put it over 1. Since if you divide or even multiply by 1, it doesn't change the answer. So 5 divided by 1 is the same thing as 5. And we do this so that when we change it to multiplication, it's more obvious that we multiply straight across with these fractions. So 5 times 9 is 45, and divided by 7. If you want to write this as a mixed number, you can. 7 goes into 45 6 whole times, and there are 3 left over. So this is 6 and 3/7. And that should make some sense because, again, 7/9, this is a little less than 1. How many times does this fit into 5? And we should expect it to be a little bit more than 5. So this number, 6 and 3/7, does make some sense for what we expected. And another variation of dividing fractions, we could see, let's say, 4 over 11 divided by 3. And now we are dividing by a whole number. So how many 3's can fit in 4/11? We should expect it to be a very small number because 3 is so much bigger than 4 over 11. But what we're going to do is first rewrite this whole number as a fraction. So we can write it as 3 over 1. And now we can change this to multiplication by flipping this second number, writing it as 1 over 3. And from here, we can just multiply straight across. We get 4 times 1 is 4 over 11 times 3, which is 33.